Gold and silver mining investors, have you been lied to? Yes, you have. You know those things you were taught in grade school that as you got older, you started to realize maybe weren't so true? Well, there's a real similar situation that all silver and gold investors go through. I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to tell you how you've been lied to and what you can do in the future to give yourself an edge when you're looking at a gold or silver mining company. Let's dig in and find out. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today in Ron's Basement. I'm going to tell you about this factor that we've all been lied to about. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you one more factor that most all of us in the precious metal mining sector investing world have heard of that I think is equally as BS. Okay, but first, let's dig right into this. What have we been taught about precious metal mining stocks, and what are we told is such a great thing for a company to have? Think about that for 1 second. The one thing that always seems to come up that's in most company presentations is inside ownership. What percent of the company's outstanding stock is owned by the management and directors of the company? And is it important? Yes and no. And let me explain to you why it's not that important. It's not that important because you can have a company that, for example, let's say they have 10 million shares outstanding and 50% of them are owned by Mr. X, okay, who's this legendary mining investor, blah, blah, blah. Or there are 50% of them are owned by the CEO of the company, Mr. CEO, okay. Those 5 million shares, the stock trades at $1 a share, are worth $5 million. Now, if Mr. CEO of the company has a net worth of $500 million, that $5 million that he has invested in his latest company is only 1% of his net worth, okay? 1%. So is it material to him? Is it that important to him? No. Is he standing on death ground as he's fighting to build this company? No. Okay? So the company will tout, oh, we're 50% owned by our CEO and blah, blah, isn't that great? He's aligned with shareholders and da, da, da. Well, not really. I'm sorry. You know, if it's only 1% of his net worth, it's not that important to him. It's important to him, but from a, let's say, being aligned with a shareholder, maybe not quite as important. Now, look at that same $10 million company, and let's say the CEO owns 10% of the company. So he's got about $1 million invested in the company. But he's a younger guy, maybe 32 years old, and that $1 million represents, let's say, 50% of his entire net worth. Let's say on a personal level, he's worth $2 million, and he's got $1 million invested in the company. He is going to be much more aligned with shareholders, much more motivated to see that project, that company succeed than the CEO who has $5 million in there, but it's only 1% of his personal net worth. You got to look beyond just the flat, simple inside ownership number that a lot of companies present and dig in and say, well, yeah, but you know, how important is that amount of money to that person that has the money invested? I hope that makes sense, because that will give you an edge. I guarantee you that if a guy has half of his net worth invested in a company, he's going to fight to make sure that that organization is successful. Now, the last factor that I promised I would share with you, this has to do with Eric Sprott and inside ownership. Okay, this is nothing against Eric Sprott. I don't know the man. I know he's very well respected. I know he's been very successful, so that's great. But you see now so many companies, and I've fallen for this myself, that will tout, Eric Sprott's invested in our company. Eric Sprott owns 15%. Eric Sprott owns this, that. Well, I'm here to tell you that the 10 or 15% that Eric Sprott has invested in a lot of these companies is not a material amount of money to him. Okay? I'm sure it's important to him. He wants to see his investments do well. But he has money invested in it's almost hard to find a mining company that he's not invested in. So don't fall for the Eric Sprott trap. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you like it, you can like it. If you can subscribe right here. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.